What's up? It's Metal Horror Gamer with another horror film review. And this time we are reviewing We Are Still Here. We Are Still Here is not a major big horror movie because it didn't come out in theaters or anything. But it is a horror movie nonetheless. And it did come out in 2015. So that's why I am reviewing it. I just saw it. And you know what? Since this is gonna be the first movie on my channel that I'm reviewing that I actually liked. Yes, I liked this movie. We Are Still Here. This is a great horror flick, which is it's good for a lot of reasons. I mean, okay, for one, the acting is very good. It stars Barbara Crampton. Most of you may know her by she's the woman who got eaten out by the head in Reanimator. The main premise is this. The woman, played by Barbara, her name's Anne, and her husband, whose name's Paul, their son just died in a car accident. So I guess to get away from where they lived at, they moved to a house, some other town, some little small town, to get away from it. But quickly, once they get there, stuff starts to happen. And I think that's one of the main features I like about this movie, because I'll tell you right now, there is there's something in the house, like spirits or ghosts, whatever they are, right? And I like that they don't take forever to get going. Stuff starts happening right away in the film. The house is kind of eerie, it's dark, it has a great atmosphere. You start, like a frame gets, or like a frame picture gets busted. You start seeing like shadows behind people, or you start quickly seeing what it is and starts attacking people. It goes really quick, and I like that because it's such a contrast compared to like mainstream ghost films like Paranormal Activity, where it just slowly builds and it takes forever, and then the payoff is never really good. It was nice to see something different, so I really like that. And one thing I noticed about this film, you could call it a nitpick, but to me it belongs in horror films because it adds to the atmosphere, is film grain. Yeah, look at almost all the old classic films. They look great. They have film grain on it, and it just adds another layer of depth that makes it a little more creepy. But when you see these films that come out nowadays and it's all perfect, crystal clear HD, you just kind of lose something. And I think that's at least one problem with modern horror films, that there is no film grain. I think horror films need that. I'm not saying every film needs that, but I think horror films need it to add a little bit to the atmosphere. I don't know why, it just helps. And this film has it. Not to give away the whole story, I don't want to, but something has happened in this town, specifically at this house, which used to be a funeral mortuary or something like that. And there's something very off with the townspeople. Our main actor or actress, Anne, she believes that the spirit of her sons followed them in the house. She feels she's sensing them in the house. So, she invites her two friends who are like ghost experts to come to the house. And they also invite their son and his girlfriend over because their son was close to Anne's son. I love the basement in this movie because it gives off the right feel of the house. It's clearly something scary down there. It's clearly not right down there. And there is a spot where there's a brick wall, but there's a hole in it, and it's obvious. Okay, something has to do with that hole there. Something. And the atmosphere is just really great. It builds tension. That's where you start seeing all the spirits in there, and they look creepy enough. So I like the way they look. They look much better than, let's say, the spirits in Crimson Peak. They look much better, much more terrifying. They do a lot more, which I like. It's about time I see a movie with spirits / ghosts, whatever you want to call them, actually doing something. And it's great. And you start to feel the tension, and has a few good jump scares here and there. But overall, the atmosphere is really good throughout the whole film. And I like that there's something sinister going on besides the ghost. Something with the town, with the house. there's some backstory there that you need to pay attention to really understand it. The whole time, I like that the movie, when it gets going, it doesn't really stop. It has a few parts here and there that kind of slow down, but for the most part, you're seeing something. There's always something happening, which is nice. Now, if you like lots of death in your horror movie, this has a good amount of death, and it you can tell the creators really had fun with with the killings, because there is a good chunk of near the end, like a lot of blood and gore and shit. So if you like that, you're gonna have a fun time seeing that happen. I thought that was pretty fun part of the movie, seeing all that. So yeah, this movie, like I said, it has the film grain. It has the horror factor real quick. It starts horror real quick. It has the atmosphere. The basement is great. A lot of tension down there. It's got some good scenes that just like kind of getting tense for us. Like, oh shit. Like I said, it's got some good scares. Got some jump scares, but got some really good, that really builds tension. And like I said, the imagery is just great. Like, I love the way the spirits look, and you find out why they look the way they look for a reason. It's just, everything's like really, I don't know. I just like it. I mean, it's not like the greatest film in the world, but out of the two films I reviewed before this one, this is much better. This is much better than both those films. And those films came out in theaters and had like big budgets. It goes to show you, with horror films, you don't need a huge ass budget. I mean, you don't even really need like in the millions. Maybe $1 million. Maybe that's kind of pushing it. You can do a lot with just a couple thousand for a horror movie. So, but I thought it was a great film, a great horror film. I'd say definitely go check this one out. We Are Still Here. If you like horror movies, go check it out. It's a great little horror flick. There's not much more I can say. It's weird because the last two reviews I've had have mostly been negative. This one's more of a positive review. Finally, I finally see something good in 2015. Well, I may have seen other movies good, but I haven't reviewed those yet. So I'm going to try to review as many 2015 movies as I can. And moving on from there, 2016, 17. And I do want to review some older movies, some of the classics later on. So I will get to those later on. But this right now, 2015, We Are Still Here. Great little film. I loved it. Go check it out.